a dream about Kobe. That's how you know it was a dream. We're having a shooting contest, but Billy Crystal was hosting it. So, I'm dreaming. You know what I'm saying? And he looked back at me, he said, hello, the afterlife is not what people make it up to be.
Ready to flex, me on his act, you see where it's at. Come tune in, we don't stream with a check. You can Michael Parson, get you a sack. Some of my coverage, Deion Sanders, back like a Ricky, he a beginner. Cook you a lockup, eat it for dinner. We double coverage, and this is the anthem.
What's up, guys? Mystic Zach here. Welcome back to episode 15 of Double Coverage. Today, I'm joined by LA legend.
Nah, it's too much.
Two-time champion.
That's
former NBA Sixth Man of the Year.
That's a fact.
My guy.
What's up, bro?
Mr. Lamar Odom. Hello.
How you doing, bro?
What's good?
I'm chilling, man.
LA legend's fair. I've walked around with you in LA. Everyone recognizes you pretty much.
I don't know if that make you a legend.
You play with Kobe.
I did play with Kobe.
You helped get him 2 of his championships, you know?
Yeah, to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyone who...
I learned a lot from dude, though. You know, definitely learned a lot from dude.
If you were in the trenches with Kobe, I think you're a legend.
I hear that. I get that.
Phil Jackson, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the whole Zen in me.
Yeah.
The whole lesson. I learned how to manifest and meditate. You know, if you got 12 or 15 young men meditating toward the same goal, you've seen the results. Meditation is like a form of prayer, right? So definitely learned a lot from Phil and Bean.
We were talking about it earlier, but you got thrown into the spotlight professional basketball at such a young age. You were there at the first game played. We're literally right by Staples Center, now Crypto Arena.
I was 19.
Yeah, in 99.
As a matter of fact, my number one boost at UNLV, he was friends with a guy that was in the steel business. And this is 1997. And he says, look, Lamar, I want to show you these blueprints I got for this building I'm about to build. They want to call it Staples Center. And I wound up, having a good game there, my first game. I don't know if we won or lost, but I lost a lot of games with the Clippers.
Yeah.
And I lost a lot of games with the Clippers, and I was always like looking over, thinking about how I would be playing on the other side. And then, and I played 1 year with Miami, and then my agent gave me a call, and I had to okay the trade to come here, back to LA. But that was an easy choice for me because I got a nice little signing bonus, and I knew I was going to be playing with Kobe Bryant, who I've known before the NBA. And I was going to be able to ride his coattail a little bit and play basketball at the highest level, and compete against the best, and try to bust their ass. Because, everybody, the Lakers are purple and gold, and our jerseys are popular, and we got probably the best city in the NBA, according to what you want to do and how you want to go out. And it was a ride that I'll never forget.
Absolutely. The only thing people, I think, really come back to the little Clippers teams is Donald Sterling.
Yeah, he
was a
nut.
Yeah.
He was a nut. Yeah, I pray for people who have that mindset. The mentality. I think he got in trouble for using the N-word.
Yeah, to sell the team.
Yeah. And that's too bad, 'cause he got way too much money to think like that. If you go down Wilshire Boulevard, all you see is Donald Sterling buildings, Donald Sterling this, Donald Sterling that.
You had a really strong season with Miami. That was a pretty blockbuster trade. I mean, you're involved, Shaq.
Yeah, me and the 2 other players, Caron Butler and Brian Grant.
Well, you were the centerpiece, at least for what the Lakers were acquiring. Is that a compliment that you're involved in a trade for Shaq? I mean,
I think so. If you're looking at it like but I mean, that Shaq, he was dominant.
Yeah, I mean, that's Diesel.
In his time. But I mean, you could consider it. Sometimes I wonder, what if I would have got 3 or 4 more years with Dwayne Wade? What could have happened in that beautiful city? But you never know what's going to happen in life. All we could do is make the best of it. And LA always had open arms for me and treated me well because of the way I performed with the Clippers. But even in my greatest times with the Clippers, sometimes I feel a little regret to the people, in LA because I was cutting them short. I couldn't be myself if I was, running home. So I think about all the plays I could have made or should have made, or But that time has passed, and it's time for me to move on and move forward and live my best life now as we speak.
You had that point forward build that we see all over the NBA today. 6'9" with a handle, can pass, can shoot.
Yeah, no, I think that was a blessing from God to be able to be my height and still maintain His guard attributes. It's always the way I played basketball, through the eyes of a point guard. No matter what position I played, I was really blessed to pick up on the game and understand it and have a high IQ. I basically know the responsibility for every position on the court because I played them and I played hard. And it was all a learning experience. But being from New York City, if you don't handle the ball, if you don't got no shakes in your game, then. And I remember I went to high school. I started high school. I was 6'3", and my sophomore season I was 6'7".
Mm.
So yeah, a lot of people would have probably changed their game because of that. But the strength of my game was my height and my handle, as they call it. And my ability to make a play, but my ability to make a play for others, and that started in the park, to get on the court. I was 10, I was 5'10", and I was playing 15 and under.
Wait, how old were you?
10. Yeah, I was 5'10" when I was 10 years old, and I remember going to the park and lying about my age, telling everybody I was 12. That was just to get on the court. But once I got on the court, I earned respect. Now, I think it was because I understood the science of basketball. It's not rocket science, but there's a science to it, and that's what I was trying to, perfect or be the best at, having an all-around game. I think when we talk about handling, especially being a big man in the NBA, I think I probably had to be, if you consider me a big man, probably at the end, I probably was I don't want to toot my own horn, but I don't know a big man that was using his shaking ability to make his defender move so he can go straight. So I guess you could probably say I'm have the big man have the best handle probably ever in the NBA. Like you said, I see a lot of 6'9", 6'10" guys, and they give them the ball and let them do their thing now. And I can say I see myself in all of those guys just a little bit.
Yeah, positionless basketball today. Yeah. There's one guy who's 7'5" and does
look
it.
Look at Wembanyama, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he probably took some Lamar Odom out of his book.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's special.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, is there anything stopping him from just being the best ever?
Well, if there's one person that I would pay to watch right now is him. When his games come on, I notice I always find the TV. So I would say because how he plays and who he plays for. San Antonio, they're going to play the right way. Even though I think he's floating a little bit out to the three-point line a little bit. But, that's the Steph Curry curse. His greatness, hurt the game. But it's not his fault. But I know if I get a kid right now, 10 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, from wherever, and I give him a basketball and we go to the park, he probably gonna shoot the ball from the furthest part of the court. You know what I'm saying? And that's due to Steph Curry's greatness, and he was amazing. He's amazing still, and I hope kids, just not learning from him, shooting. I hope they watch how he moves without the basketball.
That's what he said the other day. He's like, if you're a kid playing basketball and you're calling for the ball, like that's whack.
Yeah. I hope that he learns, they learn that part of the game. That's another science part of the game.
And how he takes care of his body and just the conditioning it takes. He's 37 years old, running around the court all game. I mean, no one does more than him.
Nah. I mean, the NBA is really kind of hard for me to watch. Like a random game, everybody play the same way.
Yeah.
Like tired of seeing a dribble handoff to a pick and roll. There's no format. But, that's the way the game is. Guess you got to change with the times, right?
Yeah, I think you got to change the times.
But, I mean, triangle offense won 10 NBA championships.
What made Phil so special? Was it the system, the triangle offense? Was it his ability to manage personalities?
Well, I think every coach, I think to be successful, that's one of the things that you have to, learn the most, have the most common sense of. You got, 12 or 15 guys on your team in the locker room, and managing personality is very important. Phil used to give us a book, books before the season, and he expected you to read it. And his mental approach, like I was telling you before, we meditated together as a team, and meditation is a form of prayer, and it's really strong, and it definitely brought us together, and it was something that a lot of us heard, but we didn't really expect it until we got in it.
Yeah,
and it made a lot of sense when you think about it, though. And he used to bring a specialist, a mindful specialist, to come teach us manifestation and meditation right around playoff time. His name was George Mumford. I think he got some books out too. So if you want to get a good book, try to exercise your brain, exercise your mind, and, he was a good guy, and it showed. We won Game 7, being long-time rivals right across the street, and that was a beautiful night.
Because first he manages Rodman, Pippen, Jordan all together. Then he goes to L.A.
Artest.
Bright lights, Artest.
Yeah. Those are strong personalities.
There's crazy stuff going on too. Like you're filming a reality show later on. Kobe's Kobe.
Yeah, I'm probably the only person in the sports figure that was able to film a successful reality show while in season. That was the year I won 6th Man of the Year. And some people be thinking things are, unattainable or that you can't do them. But with the support of the Lakers and Jeannie and Dr. Buss, God bless his dad, they okayed it. And I was able to pull that off. The cameras was always rolling. From time to wake up to practice to I'm ending my night. And it was worthwhile. I think my, my connection with that family still gives me some, what's the word I'm looking for? Some social notability, even to this day. And that was a blessing as well.
Absolutely. Do you think it maybe motivated you a little bit more?
I think so. Just because people thought that I couldn't do it, or people probably were expecting me to, to fail, for me to fall off a little bit on the court. So it kind of kept a fire lit under my ass. you know, the fire that I always had to play basketball, I knew, and especially in L.A., a strong media, almost as strong as New York. And I didn't want to get ripped, you know, looking up the paper every day, like, oh, tell them, you know, get off the show or whatever people may say. It definitely acted as if I had another coach, basically. It definitely pushed me in the right way, you know. But no matter what the coaching style is or who's coaching, I think because how I was raised, I'm be able to adapt. You know, I like to listen. I love to learn, and I'm not going to be disrespectful. Especially when somebody's trying to make me or his team better. You know, I hear a lot of the, the generation now. They got the bad reputation for being uncoachable.
Mm.
And you know, I can say to all those young guys, like, you probably good, but you know, of my generation, I could say Kobe Bryant was probably the best generational player of my generation. You know, I mean, he had 81 points. You know, 9 game winners one season. Walk off, 3, 2, 1. We win. He had 9 of them in one season. And I remember this 9th one. We were in Milwaukee, and I remember him being on the back of the bus, sitting right next to me and Derek Fisher. And you know how, you know, sometimes after a game, your adrenaline is still running, still flowing. And he was just mumbling, "I'm better than Mike. I'm better than Mike." I was looking at him like, "You be bugging." But, you know, that's how competitive he was, because a lot of players, that was a race that they wouldn't want to run, even with a head start. And, you know, from playing with them and being in the trenches with them, like you said, you know, he made that a goal. And so if, you know, a lot of people say he even came close to it. And I think you've seen it in this play. I think the world's seen it in this play. I was talking to my friend about this the other day, like, you know, the on-the-court responsibility, playing in L.A., and I could say showing up every night, no matter what. He gave these people their money's worth. I mean, even his last game.
Yeah, 60.
Even when he hurt himself and couldn't play no more.
Hit the free throws.
Yeah, the Achilles tendon injury. You know, and wherever he at, he's not too far away. I think his sneaker might be the most worn sneaker in the NBA.
Yeah.
And we all know how popular Jordan sneakers were. So I could imagine what would be going on if he was still here.
What was your relationship like with him off the court?
Amazing. It was cool. I was like, you know, there was one book that that I was reading, and was it? I think it was his book. Might have been his book. And he called me the glue of the team. I don't think that was the glue on the court. I think it was more like the glue, like the locker room. You know what I mean? I make sure everybody was laughing and in good mood.
Yeah.
You know, me just being myself. Seemed to ease people, you know, because he was always, you know, at 9:30 in the morning before, I don't know if you've ever seen this clip, but we about to jump ball in practice, and he just elbow Sasha Vujacic in the chest, like, it's on. And I think we all kind of adapted to that mentality a little bit.
And he was the guy who always expected the best out of his teammates. Didn't accept anything less.
That's the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how he was living, for real. And, you know, he put it out, you know, all the time. You know, playing with him, you know, you go into an arena, you confident just because he's with you.
Yeah.
And that definitely made us all better and alert and bonded us. You know, probably those championship teams probably bonded us forever. We got a bond that can never be broken. Shout out to anybody that was on my team and at those times. We don't really see each other much, but they're always in my heart and my prayers and my mind.
Absolutely. He ever get in your case about the candy or anything?
Nah. We never really bumped heads about anything. If we bumped heads, it was about a play. You know what I mean? That, you know, maybe I wasn't paying attention or I wasn't there or I didn't execute or, but nah, everybody know that was my thing.
No, that was like the thing. When you first run the Kardashians, I remember like they would show the cutaways where you with all your candies.
Yeah, my ex-wife, I had my own man cave, and it was full of candy. And I love candy to this day. But you know, I learned something from my rehab stint. I'm like 5 points away from being diabetic. And I gotta watch my Pop-Tart intake.
What Pop-Tart flavor you go for?
Every one of them. They got a new one called banana bread. It's really good.
What was your peak candy intake like? How much were you eating?
Oh man, I can't even really, man. My man Mac, who used to take care of me, he was like my manny. Shout out to Mac, Anthony McNair, another New York City basketball legend. But I mean, I just bags of everything. Because you can never have enough candy, you know what I mean, at that point in my life. But I gotta watch that now. I don't want nobody chopping my foot off.
You're not burning as many calories.
Yeah, because I want to eat candy. That don't make no sense.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
You talk about it. We also talk about wanting to move past that, the what ifs. Yeah. What could I have done different, but knowing that, only thing you can do is continue to move forward.
Yeah.
Did that take a while?
Well, it's like, if you're an addict and you practice sobriety, it's, day to day.
Yeah.
Right? And so I guess that's like my outlook in life on anything that I want to do. It's really in God's plans, right? In His timing. Some things that we might want, and there's been millionaires because of social media and everything. They're making millions of dollars in a year. But you can still keep to the same plan, but God might say you have to make 10 years or 20 years. But I think as long as you stay focused and keep the creative first, anything is possible.
You said it's tough for you to watch some basketball games, but what else are you watching at home? Any other sports, TV shows, movies? Talked about Moses.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was watching Netflix the other day. I'm like, damn. Like, it's so much to pick from.
Yeah.
And, like, even if I'm watching TV, I like to watch something that maybe I'm going to learn from a little bit, or, I still don't know how to cook. But, I don't know, I just try to watch stuff that I can learn from. I love the ID channel too, but even though I'm not trying to learn how to kill nobody or anything like that, but I like the ID channel as well too. I don't know, I like TV. Of course, I like sports. Baseball season's about to run back around. I can't wait to watch.
Want in the Dodgers game?
Of course.
We got our guy, Dave Roberts.
Who's Dave Roberts?
The manager?
Okay.
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah, he's dope.
He's the man, yeah.
He is dope. But that, I don't know, where's Ohtani from?
Japan.
Yeah.
He's Japanese too, the manager, you know that?
I didn't know that.
He's half Japanese, half black, half Japanese.
Okay, I can see that.
So that's why they get all the...
Yeah, I can see that.
It's kind of crazy.
But Ohtani is a beast. Yeah, he's one of the best to watch. I mean, he can control the game from the mound, and then you're going to hit 3-4 home runs like he did this past season. It's definitely inspiring watching him play baseball.
Yeah.
He plays hard, too. He's in a great market. They pay him well. And he does, he's making, it's inspiring probably to a lot of, for me, I'm an adult, and watching him is playing inspirational. So I can imagine being a little leaguer, watching him play. And players like that don't really come around a lot. And I just hope I just hope that everybody's soaking it in.
One in 10 billion.
It's number 17, right?
Yeah.
I hope everybody's soaking it in and buying Ohtani jerseys, buying number 17 jerseys. I know he's getting a lot of love in L.A. Yeah, but he's definitely inspirational.
You believe that it was his translator gambling, or do you think it was him?
I don't know. That's another thing with sports right now. I try not to follow that because I don't think sports gambling was as big when I was playing.
No.
And, even for a guy that has a $200 million contract, you're putting it in his face like that. If he can make an extra, but sports gambling really don't stop. There's no peak on how high you can go.
Yeah.
And I just hope that all the leagues have that under control.
Doesn't seem like they do.
I mean, you can't really control
You got
it.
NBA coaches getting arrested, players.
You give it to the people.
Yeah, the mafia's involved.
So much. Well, everybody know the mafia has something to do with gambling. And then you add the sports. I just hope it don't carry over to a guy's performance.
You never got an offer to throw a game, even high school, nothing?
No. Honestly, I can say no.
That's good.
And I always play at a high level and kind of respect the game too much to even entertain anything like that. But, some of these dudes, they train their hardest and give their heart to a game, put all in a game, all their heart into a game. And I would hope to see the game, get stained, by a player making a bad decision to fatten his pockets a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope the league, they should try to do something about that. All the leagues.
The Lakers are real rocky right now.
They don't play no defense. They don't play no defense. I don't know if they have to make a move. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's the players, but the effort and the energy is not there every night. And, everybody can score the ball, but nobody want to defend it. Nobody want to put that effort and energy in the defense and defensive rebounding. Defense is a team game in every sport, especially football and, in basketball. Baseball even too. Your team don't grip up, then, you could expect to lose any games. You should expect to lose. And in NBA, you got all these, great shooters. Day to day, I love the game. I think I'd rather watch college basketball right now.
Yeah, well, the Lakers are soft.
Yeah.
There's a lot of whining. They're tough to watch. They really are.
I mean, the game is softer.
Yeah, I'm just being objective. Like Luka, one of the greatest offensive players ever, but he cries every single possession.
Well, he's probably spoiled.
Yeah, it's really tough to watch.
He's been an NBA. He's been a pro since he was 13 years old.
Yeah,
or 14 or 15.
And
I don't think they probably ever even asked him to get 3 stops in a row.
No.
And just because...
And he's got the size and ability. If he really wanted to, he could do it.
He's the first person on the basketball field, the point guard, right?
Yeah.
So I think that energy translates with him and then the coaching too. It's like, you have to push them
Yeah.
to play defense, and you have to let your team know, like, yo, we have a weak defensive player, so we have to come around with schemes and cutting the floor off, especially when his man has the ball and is being aggressive. But I love watching him. I was a 6'7", 6'8" point guard one time in my career too. Obviously, he's one of the best players in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. He's an all-time great, but it's just...
in the NBA, they got this thing called, what makes me sick too, a two-way player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, when you have the ball, you're on offense. When you don't have it, you're on defense.
Yeah.
I think a two-way player should be anybody's mentality who's playing the NBA.
Yeah, no, none of them really have that mentality. And it seems
I would hate to be called a two-way player. So it's like, what do you mean I'm a two-way player? I'm playing basketball, So I think that starts a lot with these, with the coaches. The coaches kind of fall into how the game is being played and not the way it should be played. Then the Lakers, I know they got the big center kid, but they knew his game before they got him. What, Ayton?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's complaining a lot.
He was always more of a finesse, score first type of center.
Yeah.
I was reading one article and he said, they're trying to turn me into a Clint Capella.
He said that.
Clint Capella is a great player. He's a rim protector. I think the Lakers probably needed more.
Probably better than him.
Yeah, I think the Lakers needed more of somebody with that type of mentality.
Yeah.
And, that type of mentality spreads.
Yeah.
Then everybody gonna want to get stops and take charges and do the nitty-gritty things that it takes to win consistently.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the Lakers got away from the triangle.
Yeah.
Like,
it worked pretty good.
I'm only won 10 NBA championships, and we're all around still. I'm pretty sure if they asked me, Derek Fisher, Pau Gasol, and the triangle is a small fraternity of us that know it.
Yeah.
And that's within that small fraternity, all of us have won consistent championships. Have been able to follow up a championship with a championship.
Yeah.
They got the formula. I spoke to Pelinka and he said the kids don't want to run it. Out of his mouth. I'm like, are we representing the back of the jersey or the front of the jersey?
Yeah.
Because, all bullshit aside, I have a lot of Laker pride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody who's ever been around me knows that. I always want and expect them to do well. And when they don't, or not on a consistent basis, and then you're in LA, bro. Like, this is the home of the winners. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at that place, right down from us. It should be called Kobe's crib.
Literally.
Just because how he put out every night for this town. And, I hope they get it together. They'll get it together, hopefully, in the playoffs and
Think so?
try to get some stops. You got a time to take it back to, practice.
Yeah. I don't think this, core can all work together because Davis was so perfect because he played, great defense and cleaned everything up. And
I don't think it was a bad trade. I just
for the future, it's the best trade, but the current, it's tough. I think
you have to just adapt. And sometimes in
you
life,
got to start over a little bit, I think.
in life,
Yeah.
we got to adapt on the fly.
Yeah,
If you don't, things will go past you and get past you.
yeah.
I don't want to stand for 2 or 3 more seasons. If I don't, the nation, the town
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Well, I think LeBron's gone after
well,
this.
Yeah, age I think is caught up to him.
Finally. Only took 22 years.
But that's, every athlete.
He had LeBron, love him or hate him, greatest longevity in the history of sports.
I don't even, if somebody says they hate LeBron, and then
you're always going to have critics, so people hate it on Kobe too.
You're called, what do you call a player hater?
Player hater, yeah.
Because, he was getting, shit in his career, but he always played the right way.
22 years, finally took like a step back.
If the guy's open, then you should pass it.
Yeah.
If not, then, you're good enough to take the shot. But I've been in love with his game and how he played it, and, obviously takes care of his body.
Yeah.
And that's a job in itself. If you want to play.
Well, he said he spends $1 million a year on it.
I'm not surprised. If you want to play on the highest level at this level. I have nothing but respect for LeBron James and how he commends himself on the court, how he attacks the court. I mean, I think every father, all the fathers that are my age, we love LeBron James because he did what all the CEOs do to have sons. They bring them right along with them.
Yeah.
And, shit. Which player, I don't know no player that would turn down that opportunity.
No. If they say no, they're lying.
To be on the same team as your baby boy?
Yeah.
I mean, if he only did that and he have no championships, he's a champion in my eyes. Just for that. I mean, gosh, Lee. You think about, him being a number 1 pick at 18. That 18-year-old boy, you probably couldn't convince him that his Bronny was going to be on the same team with him.
Yeah.
One day.
No.
It was like the ultimate CEO corporate move. And, the NBA is a players' league. And obviously he has a lot of power to make that happen because there were probably some dudes that, didn't get picked.
Yeah.
But shit, I would have did the same thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to touch on. I want to get a little bit more in depth about the Netflix doc.
Oh.
And in the trailer, you say the afterlife is different than they say. It's not often you see someone alive that knows what it's like to be dead.
That was I had a dream about Kobe. When I was shooting a reality show. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably one of the toughest things I ever had to do. And my man came to me in a dream, and it's how you know it was a dream because we were having a 3-point shootout. We were having a shooting contest, but Billy Crystal was hosting it. So obviously, I'm dreaming. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how you host a 3-point shootout, a shooting contest. But Kobe was so great at his shot making because I'm left-handed. So when I step into my shot, I step right, left. You right-handed, so when you step into your shot, you step left, right. Well, he was so ambidextrous with his footwork that it didn't matter which foot he stepped into, he was able to make the shot, with his right hand. So we having a shooting contest, and I remember this vividly. I get to the top of the key, and it's a little too deep. And so I step left, right, and I'm copying him. So the next one I take right, left. It was a little too deep. I missed it. And I took it again and I made it. And then we got to the right side of it, and he just stopped. And he looked back at me, he said, "Hello, the afterlife is not what people make it up to be."
Mm.
And then I woke up shortly after that. And it just made me think, like, what is he trying to say? Like, could be he missed everybody, it can mean a multitude of things. Maybe he's still traveling, you know, to wherever he has to go or have to get. I don't know what it meant. But I just take it as like, you know, live your best life now.
Yeah.
You know, don't sell yourself short, because I died and I can't tell you where we go, where we going. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just, I think there's a lot in life, you know, that we all live for. You know, whether it's your friends, your family, you know, money, whatever you fall in love with, you like love it now. Because we've seen from his accident, like nobody's promised tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest lesson that I learned from his life. Because when he passed away, when I got the news, I was in Atlanta, and I was with my man. He passed away, so
R.I.P.
yeah, I was with my man, and he was throwing up. You know, and I'm his brother, and or whatever the way the world spins and rotates, it felt like it started turning the other way. And I remember coming back here for his funeral, and I could like that Beanie Siegel Phil Collins song, you feel it in the air, like the gut punch, like they couldn't breathe. And you know, no one knows. I don't know what my time is. My grandmother, I got one grandmother's. My mother's mother passed away on her 80th birthday, June 29th. And that's a special birthday for me because that's also the day that my son passed away from SIDS, you know, June 29th. And, you know, that's when I wasn't living right. You know, sometimes I ask myself if I was home, because I was out all night, and I'm just trying to, you know, be present.
Yeah.
As much as possible. Now I'm 46. I'm 46. But, you know, my grandmother, I got one grandmother, she's been in the same project apartment for 70 years.
70 years?
Word. She's 99 years old.
Oh, my God.
So I figure, you know, if I got one grandmother that live in a project building for 70 years and she's 99, I think, you know, because of, you know, my ability to take care of myself and get a gig or two.
Yeah.
I respect my, you know, I'm talking shit right now, but I think I could live till, Moses lived till he was, what, 120? I think I got a buck in me.
All right.
You know what
I
I'm
like
saying?
it.
I'm gonna need a lot of track outfits or something easy, something that look good, that's easy to put on. But, yeah, you know, I think I got a buck in me if I, you know, keep my head on straight and, you know, love my fellow man and keep my soul right, then why not?
My guy.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Well, I'm going to do it. You probably won't be here. If I live to 100, you might be dead, bro. But
I'll be dead?
I'm just saying, if I live to 100, that's like
I'm going to be alive.
I'm going to say you're going to be alive. I'm going to put that in the
I'll be
atmosphere.
78. That's not that bad.
Yeah, no, you're right. You got a shot. But it's just like,
I'm
sometimes
Jewish. We got good doctors.
Yeah, sometimes I think about my grandmother, like, she ain't like, we her only friends. Think about that. If you live till you 99, all your buddies and all, like,
No, true.
they gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, they out of here. Yeah, I would say in my life, especially coming from a dude that died before. You know, I got, you know, God put me here for a reason too. I don't know if it's to spread the word or sobriety or I don't know, but once I get it down packed, there ain't gonna be no stopping me. You know, but he definitely spared me. Shit, I had 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks when I was in the coma.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I woke up, I couldn't walk or talk. They said I wasn't gonna ever walk or talk again.
Yeah.
And I'm having a conversation with you right now. I was, getting my diaper changed and see the cyanide every 3 hours, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I told you, but like my mother, traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
I was 13. They said like, if she lives, she's not gonna walk or talk, you know.
yeah,
And she was in a wheelchair, and now she's perfect.
it's crazy.
God, yeah.
God is good all the time.
She's probably sharper than before that. It's nuts.
It's crazy how the body works, man, how it protects itself through trauma.
Yeah.
You know, only he has answers for that because I'm like a medical miracle, what my doctors tell me.
And the same like addictive type personality. Like if we get like, but there's a box of popsicles, like I'll have one, she'll have 12.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, what? Why would you have so many? But it's just.
They pronounced me dead there was a couple of times my family told me, like the doctor said, you know, y'all might want to see him this one last time.
Yeah.
You know, so.
You're definitely on life number 2 or 3.
Yeah, so for me to be able to beat that, you know.
You're like a cat.
Yeah, I ain't get to 9 yet, but right, I'm not.
You were close.
Yeah,
12 strokes, 6 heart attacks.
Yeah, I don't even really want to, you know. If you partying, then I'll leave the room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No good.
You know, and this is a place where you can get anything anywhere.
Oh, LA is tough. Yeah. I mean, me and my friends were like the only sober house in LA. It's.
I don't know. Tell my man Marcel I said what's up.
No, we're gonna tell Marcel I said what's up.
But you know, life is too good and it's too short.
One last thing today, I think people were surprised that Khloé, your ex-wife, is one of like the main people in the doc. How did that come about?
I don't know. You would have to ask them.
Oh, Netflix took care of it.
Yeah, because you know, my last time being around her, it was like I don't think I compare it to is like being in detention with the principal. You know, one-on-one. But it takes time for us to heal because, you know, it seems like it just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
At least to me. And so, you know, you're dealing with a woman and, you know, you're doing it coming out, or women coming out to the tabloids. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's probably one of my biggest mistakes ever. Is that I told God that I was going to take care of this woman and be with her forever and stepped out on her. It's like I just lied to God in his face. And, you know, divorce could be like death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm not in contact with even my brother Rob.
Mm.
You know, who wasn't staged or it wasn't part of the script for me and him to get along the way we did.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, even in death, even when people pass on and they're no longer here, you still have to live your life and move on and try to turn shit into sugar. And you know, it's painful, but that's something that I regret, and I'm, you know, mentally I'll be paying for it probably for the rest of my life.
You can tell in the clip that like the love is still there, you know?
Well, you know, I mean, shit. I mean, honestly, you don't marry somebody in 30 days and then forget about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't imagine that.
Me either.
I don't think most people can. Like
Me either. And then for two people in the position that we were in, you know, she didn't need Odom, and I didn't need to be the first black Kardashian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just happened that way. And everything was, genuine. And the love that
We got some more after.
Yeah, the love that they show for
Kanye,
me. Like, you can't, I don't think Kanye married Kim. He's married.
Yeah. They got 4 kids.
Yeah. Yeah, he was second.
He was second.
But yeah, that love was genuine. And I think that's what why me and her show was so special too, because it really wasn't scripted.
Yeah.
We just went off of how we felt.
Yeah.
And we were at the time. Yeah, I think about that life and that lifestyle. Just imagine a Laker married to a Kardashian. It's like the red carpet rolled out everywhere you go.
Yeah. No, it's a movie script.
Yeah, so it was an amazing time, and it's probably worth the movie, I would say, but it's another story for another day.
Another story for another day.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming through, and I'm happy to see you sober and out of rehab and doing well.
Oh, man, the best is yet to come, little brother. The best is yet to come. It feel like, because it feel like my third life.
Yeah.
So
third time's the charm.
Yeah. I've never, I'm like, 35 days sober right now. And I feel good, I try to look it. I got to get used to wearing these glasses. Like I told you.
You look like you're about to drop a book or something.
Yeah,
it's a good, distinguished look.
Yeah, but that's a front. That's why people wear glasses. And
a little bit.
Violent motherfuckers. But, you know what I'm saying? But I needed them.
Yeah, no, you dress.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at the...
I'd buy your book.
Yeah, I'm at the screen. I'm squinting. So I was like, when I was in rehab, I had made an eye appointment for a doctor. And my father used to wear glasses. I'm not the style, but I'm going to change the style up a little bit. Make them more like the Joe Odom look.
All right.
As times come. So next time I see you, I have a different pair of
glasses. You might need some
on.
buffs,
Like
some diamonds in there.
Some gazelle glasses or something like that.
All right.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you for coming on. Any last words? Tell the fans.
I love you for loving me. Take care of yourself.
We out.